I'll call to order the Central Virginia Transportation Authority Finance Committee meeting for this Wednesday, March 11th, 2026. The only welcome introduction I have, I appreciate everybody doing the heavy lifting when I was gone. I was not doing heavy lifting at that time, but I got to tune in on a number of the meetings, and I appreciate how smooth everything went. It was definitely in watching the streaming, I got a clue of what it's like for the public to watch this, and very, very professional, and I appreciate that. So if we can all rise and pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. I've gotten any notification of anybody wanting to participate remotely. Oh, I'm sorry. Just stop me, okay?
I was just gonna let you finish your sentence.
Oh, thank you.
Chesterfield County, Mr. Carroll.
Here.
Henrico County, Mr. Nelson. Goochland County, Mr. Winfrey. New Kent County, Chair Moyer.
Here.
City of Richmond, Mayor Vula.
Here.
Commonwealth Transportation Board, Mr. Davis.
Here.
And we do have a forum.
Much. Now, there's nobody that asked for remote participation. Does anybody have any considerations for changing the meeting agenda? Okay. If not, the next would be approving the minutes for February 11th and February 27th. And if you don't mind, if those approvals are necessary, we are going to go with two motions, one for each. So I wasn't here for one, so I can't vote. So any comments or questions or motions for the approval for February 11th, 2026?
So moved.
And we have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Do a motion for the minutes for February 27th, 2026.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. Thank you very much, everybody. Mel, you're up. Team mitigation. What
Migration.
Either one. I try to get rid of it sometimes.
Yes, so for those who weren't aware, we have migrated to using Teams instead of Zoom as our virtual meeting platform for all meetings. So what that means is instead of a Zoom link, we'll be sending out a Teams link for people to join. Most of you all attend in person, so probably won't affect you too much, but if you do need to attend virtually, you would just, same as always, click the webinar registration link in the email that we send out that also has the link to the agenda and everything. And you'll be registered. An hour before the meeting, you'll receive a link to join. And then once we are in the meeting, you will be an attendee with your mic and your camera on. If you're a member, guests will be allowed to speak and will, adjust their settings as necessary during a public comment period. But I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions or concerns?
Mr. Chair. Go good.
One point, we tried this out for the first time on Monday with our TAC, and it went very smoothly. There was one question which I think we're investigating, which was, if we're moving to Teams, can we include the link in the email invitation so that registration can be avoided? So I think we're looking into that. I think the question is about security and us knowing who's, at least having an idea of who's going to be there and who's not. Is achieved with registration, but we'll look at it and get back to the group.
Is Teams the one that asks if you are a panelist or not? Well,
That's Zoom, but.
is that Zoom?
That's Zoom, but in Teams, what I can do is if you're going to be presenting anything like a slideshow or anything like that, I can move you to that level, which would give you the capability. The one thing, if you do register for the Zoom, in order to receive the link, the best suggestion would be to register 30 minutes to an hour before if you're doing it the same day. Unless you register ahead of time. If it's the same, the morning of, best to do it 30 minutes to an hour before so you can receive the link. On my end, I will see who hasn't and needs to be participating in the meeting and can give them a direction if that's the case. But that is something that, for participating online to do that.
Oh, thank you very much, Sid. Thank you, Mo.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Speaking to that, I think that the Teams platform is equally as used across the world as Zoom. I think that it's not unreasonable to change the platform. I don't think that there would be some people in the community who might go, well, I can't use Teams, I can only use Zoom, right? But I do think it's a reasonable expectation for us to require someone to be able to identify who they are. And if you come to a meeting in person, we can see you, we can hear you. And hopefully you tell us the right name of who you are and you don't make something up. But unfortunately, coming in online like this, not being able to see someone if they choose not to turn their camera on, and we don't know who's on the other side. So I don't think it's unreasonable to request someone to register ahead of time, which is what we've been doing in the other platform already. So I think to keep that function is still a reasonable function to keep.
Thank you, Mr. Carroll. I know for our board of supervisors meeting, of course, we're streamed live, but it's a one-way street. And so if people want to make public comments, they need to be at the meeting. So to be able to do this for people, I think it's one step further.
Yep.
So,
great.
I think it's a very good thing. Okay, thank you again. Next is open public comment period. If anybody has a public comment, wants to make one, no one online, Sid? Okay, and no one's walking up to the podium. I'll close the public comment period. Next is my committee chairman's report. Again, I wanted to thank everybody for a couple weeks ago that February 27th went really smooth, a lot of public comment. I think a lot of people got their opinions heard. Whether we act on them or, that's the future. So the only other thing is this Friday is my county's budget retreat. And Ms. Inman has put together a list for me of what our contributions have been from CVTA regionally and locally. And I'll present that to our board of supervisors to show how that is. We also, this is new, Ken, but because of February 27th and the approval of the 10 million for additional for the interchange at 211 and also 3.3 million for our roundabout, we were able to talk about that and give kudos to CVTA the other night for that. And it's the word's getting out a little bit at a time, what this organization is doing. And I'm very proud to be able to make any kind of comments like that anytime. So I'll let you know how it goes this Friday, see how the comments are from people that are going to be at the retreat. Well, thank you. CVT activities report. Mr. Parsons?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick update on page 15 for tax collections and distribution. It's just to note, lifetime to date now, we are up over 1.1 billion. So year to date is just over 100 million. So we're continuing to see great returns on tax revenues and consistency, which I think is something we're all looking for right now in today's fiscal climate. Our ending cash balance year to date is 300 and, if I can read the fine print, 60 million, which includes interest income allocations, regional projects, and just general interest income that has not been allocated. The bottom left box shows all of the commitments that we've made to date for projects or uses with interest income, including the Diamond District Phase 1 transportation improvement, leaving an available balance still of 7.6 million. So we will continue to track that for the rest of the fiscal year and have that at our fingertips in case conversations arise. about possible additional uses for interest income in FY27. The investment report labeled January 2026 is kind of more the same from what we've heard the last few months. Increase in interest earnings compared to the prior year is due to only our increased balance in the portfolio. You can see at the bottom left, the cumulative interest earnings is starting to level off a little bit year over year from FY24 through 26. So we still see our portfolio outperforming all the yield benchmarks in January, but the year over year change is lagging due to several very high yielding investments that matured during the year. As we've discussed in the past, we're looking at just similar trends continuing downward in 2026. But our fiscal agent, as always, is keeping an eye on the market and advising me on any new thoughts or opportunities to reinvest in different ways.
But you're gonna pass those along to us if we, but, the investment right now is interesting, yes.
Exactly, what will look at?
Yeah. If you can have it, that's great.
Myself on that one.
Yeah. So again, thanks to all our people in the finances at Chesterfield, you know, and our financial agents. Mr. Vadunas, your tax report, please.
Yes, sir. Good morning. So TAC met this past Monday, and we provided recommendations regarding several items that are going to appear on your agenda. The first item concerned the Round 4 allocation plan on February 27th. The full authority approved the Round 4 projects and the funding. This lays out the allocation for all of the projects from beginning of time through Round 4 over that 6-year period. So we approved that or recommended approval of that as presented. The other item we considered was more of a formality. It was a SPA agreement that was submitted by Powhatan County for their Stave Mill Road project. What is significant about this is Powhatan's first project. Anyway, we recommended approval of that agreement as well. Lastly, this was not an action item, but we discussed a request from Chesterfield County. They have a Route 60 project, which has leveraging, has 22.1 million in CVTA regional funds applied to that for leveraging. They submitted it in round 6. It did not score well in round 6. So they've come back to TAC and are asking to divide that project into parts, basically 3 sections, as I recall, and submit 2 of those sections in the upcoming round 7, using the same leveraging amount of 22.1 million. So that would obviously improve their benefit cost, and they feel like that will give them a better chance of scoring. This is not addressed in our regional framework. Our regional framework doesn't address all scenarios, but in our opinion, it met the spirit and the intent of leveraging. We didn't feel like Chesterfield was trying to game the system or take advantage in any way. And I think it kind of fulfills our goals of trying to get other monies, okay, use that leveraging to get other money, state dollars specifically. So we were comfortable with that. And yes, so that's all I have. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
B, other business. Number 1, the fiscal year 27 budget public hearing.
Yes, sir. Page 17 is a draft of a press release notifying the public of a public comment period for 15 days from April 9th through April 23rd. And this is for our annual operating and capital budgets. This is what we do every year as opposed to the regional funding, which is every other year. We do have a requirement in our bylaws for public comment period and public hearing on the budget. So this is the request today is simply to recommend the full authority approve or authorize the advertisement of the public hearing for April 24th for the FY 27 administrative and operating budget, and for a public review period to be held from April 9th through April 23rd. We will follow up in April with both committees as well as the full authority on the draft of that budget. And I'm working on that with Ms. Shepherd as we speak.
Thank you, Mr. Parsons. Any comments, questions? Mr. Parsons on this?
I make a motion that we submit to the full authority to require authorization for the initiation of the public comment.
Second. Thank you. We got a second? All those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Mr. Parsons, round 4 allocation plan?
Yes, sir. This is the big item today. Page 18 is this quick staff report. As Mr. Badunas shared from the TAC perspective, the last time that we met as a full authority, the project list for round 4 regional funding was approved, was adopted. And at this point, we now take that project list and develop our full round 4 allocations plan, which you can see on page 19 and 20 of the packet. And what this table shows is a depiction of all of the regional funding that is being provided by the CVTA from 2020 through today. Some of these projects have already started. Some of them have received significant funds already through reimbursement. But what it does is lays out each project, the locality that is sponsoring it, who is administering it, and then broken down by fiscal year when that funding is essentially assigned to the project. And we've developed this in conjunction with the TAC so that it matches as closely as possible the scheduling that each locality is using and VDOT is using to cover whether it's design build, PE right-of-way construction. And so all those phases are captured that meet the schedules for each individual project as closely as possible. The far right column, you'll see a notes. Anything that is bolded is an update from the round 3 allocations plan. In some cases, there was additional funding recommended through round 4. In some cases, there is leverage adjustments for inflation. And then there are a handful of new projects, which is representative of the action taken last month by the authority. I think the last thing to note is at the bottom of the table on page 20, you can see broken out by fiscal year the amount remaining in balance entry. And most of this is formula based with the project allocation framework. As you go farther into the out years to FY 31 and 32, you'll see a larger percentage of the CVTA regional funding set aside for balance entry just to cover unknowns and provide some safety. But you can see that, FY 27 balance entry is relatively small. So we don't have a lot of flexibility for those types of for additional needs for FY 27. But as you go into further out years, that balance entry grows somewhat. The action requested today is to recommend for the authority at its meeting on March 27th to approve the round 4 allocations plan. And this is something that we will use as our blueprint for the next 2 years to guide, additional project decisions and provide advice to the authority on how we can be supportive of these projects moving forward.
Any questions or comments? Yes.
Yeah, would love just like a little historical context on like how much things can move. I don't imagine we've had a lot of like accelerating we've needed to do, but let's say we did, like, what does that process look like?
Right. So from time to time, we have gotten notification, mostly through the TAC, that projects have been accelerated for one reason or another, or a phase has been, right away can take place, a year in advance. And the cleanest way that we found to make that work is for, a locality to replace funding on another project so that dollar amount can move forward to a year. I think there have been 1 or 2 instances where that didn't work either, and we've had to you know, dip into balance entry or interest income to help support that project. I can't speak directly to a particular project, but that's really I think the extent. The other thing that does happen from time to time is the interest adjustments. So there will be additional funding applied to, you know, a handful of projects when that is necessary.
Thanks.
And that's mostly on the leveraging side.
Anything else? If I could have a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay. And there's a second. I would think this should need a roll call. Yes, it is. If you could.
Chesterfield County, Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Henrico County, Mr. Nelson. New Kent County, Chair Moyer.
Aye.
City of Richmond, Mayor Cola.
Aye.
Commonwealth Transportation Board, Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. And thank you. That was a lot bigger deal than it seemed like, you know, how to spend money real quickly. Next is the Powhatan County project agreement, the Stave Mill Road turn lane. Mr. Parsons?
Yes, sir. Page 21 is the draft project agreement that has been submitted by Powhatan County. And as you mentioned, this is covering CVTA project 19, the Stave Mill Road turn lane. This project received 1.8 million in regional funds, I believe in round 3. It may have been round 2. I don't recall directly, but the county is ready to move forward with administering this project and have submitted the paperwork to the point where it is partially executed. What we are asking for today is for a recommendation to the full authority to approve the project agreement as presented. I will say, personally, I've been working with the staff in Powhatan on getting this in the right form, and it's been a great working relationship. So I think Powhatan County is doing a great job in stepping up and being ready to deal with projects like this. As Mr. Vadunas mentioned, this is their first project agreement that they're bringing to the table. So we're excited to get this moving.
Mr. Chair, question.
Yes.
So what do you categorize as round 1? Would that be when we awarded the money to the fall line trim?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So I think this was round 2. I think it's part of that $276 million initial transportation package that we passed and then added the 100 million on in the meeting later. But I think this was part of
Good
it.
recall.
Thank you, Mr. Carroll.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
Motion, go second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. The CVTA Finance Committee members' comments. Any comments from anybody on the Finance Committee? Wow, do we have one from Mr. Parsons?
If you'll allow me,
Yes.
I've been talking with Mr. Gregory about this the past few days. I think that we've had some great movement in the community over the past couple of weeks on CVTA supported projects moving forward and kicking off with like Magellan Parkway had a big event. There are other mentions in the media. I think that one thing that I would like to work on, given the go ahead from Finance Committee, is I think whatever we call it, Mr. Gregory, a policy for the CVTA to consider that that lays out a recognition platform for the CVTA. We know that anyone who was involved with the I-64 widening, VDOT has a policy in place where the logo is placed on the billboard. There is recognition of the contribution of CVTA. I think that for us as an authority, it would be beneficial for the community to see some consistency in recognizing CVTA contributions to the work that's being done around the region. And I'm not suggesting something that would be applied to local CVTA dollars. I think the place to start and the place to recognize the authority is for the regional commitments, the big dollar amounts. And with Finance Committee's support, I think that Mr. Gregory and I can work on a draft policy to bring to the authority that kind of lays out how that recognition would be applied.
Kind of like for fall line, the wayfinding, a consistency in, say, you know, like that, the sign that it's there for 64, you know, says in the contributions of the CVT is bottom.
Yes, sir.
You know, signs like that may be appropriate, that we can get that recognition. I know if, you know, I'm in a Rotary, if we're gonna donate something, you know, this Rotary seal is gonna be on. Okay, so I would think the same thing would be true, you know, for us, and that coming up with that would be great.
Yes, sir. And I think that, I mean, at its base level, we would start with a policy that CVTA would recognize, but then we could move into, you know, a 2-sentence recognition that could be included in project agreements. So
Okay,
that,
true,
you know,
yeah.
puts it to stone. Once a project is moving forward, press releases should have, you know, X language to recognize the CVTA's contribution.
Very good. Any other ideas, questions?
Sure.
Yes.
I agree with that. I think, probably should ask this question a long time ago, so I'll ask it now since it popped into my head. What's the very first project that's been completed with CVTA dollars? Very first project, whether it's a fall line trail project, which is what I think it is, but the very first transportation project that's actually been completed utilizing CVTA dollars.
I think it's probably
So the Hanover part
I
of
think it's probably one of the fall line links,
Ashland.
probably Ashland. And the only thing I would say, Mr. Chair, is that, when we're drafting that, and I mean, we probably should have recognized this, as a significant milestone when it actually happened.
Yeah.
So perhaps that's something we should look to do in the future. I do think that as projects, no matter which jurisdiction it is, if there's a groundbreaking, we should highlight that. If there's a ribbon cutting, we should highlight that. So when you're drafting the policy, I think that's something to consider. And then something to consider for next year, which now's the time to start working on this, is to do a presentation to the General Assembly members, perhaps do a draft resolution that one of our General Assembly members could actually present before the CVTA, before the General Assembly on behalf of the CVTA, so that those members who actually voted to create the CVTA years ago will actually get an update as to what's actually going on, because most of them who are outside of the Richmond region probably have not been informed. I think that's the best way to say that. And so I think bringing something before the General Assembly next year, getting one of our legislators to do it in the form of a resolution that talks about the significant contributions that the CVTA has been able to do regionally since its creation, I think would be a good thing to start for next year. It's a little late now, but
good idea.
perhaps we even have better projects next year to even talk about.
Good idea. Very good.
And maybe there's some, I mean, just many of our counties have communication staff that would love to put this out. It'd be great to, I don't know, not necessarily in policy, but to have some procedure where we're actually pulling those folks to the table, generating content. I'd love to promote whatever CVTA is doing.
Yeah.
I feel like I repost your stuff from time to time, Jeff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do we have any idea who who the General Assembly members are yet? Aren't they switching out? Did anyone ever replace Lieutenant Governor Hodgman?
That's a great question. I have checked. So Delegate Cousins remains on.
Right.
Senator Hashmi or Lieutenant Governor Hashmi will be, her replacement will be identified in April when whatever the committee, I don't recall directly, the committee will reconvene at that point to name her replacement. So we will find out soon.
Another thing.
Yes.
Just something for consideration. Out of the round 4 allocation, we heard a lot, many of the public comments had to deal with pedestrian safety, whatever, pedestrian project, may not say whatever. So Gilberto works with us and Henrico took the round 4 projects, particularly the ones that had to do with Henrico, and broke it down and looked at the pedestrian impact, et cetera. And I think it might have been close to 20%.
40, sir.
Yeah, so I really feel like if we do a deeper dive, we need to do a better job of telling the story.
Yeah,
That the money that we are allocating is definitely has an impact on pedestrian traffic and pedestrian safety, et cetera. It's not just all highways, it's not always roads, et cetera. I just think maybe we can kind of do a deeper dive into that so that we can kind of tell a story instead of letting people tell the story for us all the time. Something that was beneficial.
Yeah. I'll second that. I mean, I just feel like, obviously, we're a large region and highways are part of what we're gonna do, but like, this last round was phenomenal. You think about pulse expansion, GRTC hub, the railway. I mean, there's so much multimodal investment, and then fall line through the entire history of CVTA. Like, that should be the story everybody hears.
It doesn't seem that way from the public comments we hear. And
And that's what's wrong with the.
no, I
I
just,
bring the comments all you want to.
please, yeah.
But there is a narrative from that particular community that we are not hearing them when the dollars show otherwise.
Right.
Great point. And I see Mr. Virginia is making notes, but we'll get that on the radar of attack to maybe get some locality breakdowns of how those projects.
And it doesn't even really have to be by locality, it can be by region, which is probably the better story. I mean, clearly with the Powhite extension in round 4, that's gonna skew it, but that's not, you know, that's just one, you know what I'm saying? That's not what we do all the time. But many of these projects touch multimodal and
And with regional money that I agree that should be given. And also there's a number of the little projects that we do with our allocations that are more than likely pedestrian multimodal too. So thank you, Reverend Nelson. Yes.
I'll make the offer again. Right, so if the CVTA would like to do a promo video touching base on just those topics. I don't have to be in it. Chet, you're the executive director. You could come be in it on behalf of CVTA. And where we can highlight those specific projects that we feel touch that to give more information to the community. We can make that happen. And my people will go out in the field and do video shots and put a nice informational video together to push out to the community to get the message out. We should be doing these all the time as a way to get the message out. And even if you want to add a podcast to that, we have the ability to do podcasts. I think I'm doing tomorrow, actually. So anything that we can do to push information to the community, to let them know what these projects actually mean, I think we should be doing. So, and I'm glad that your people looked at it in the detail that they did.
That's
And
great.
can provide that information and feedback that we can get the information in the community. Like I get where they're coming from a lot of public comment. When you look at the totality of how much money is being spent, but it's not like we're not spending money on these projects. We are.
A couple of things. One, we do receive money from gas tax, but we also receive money from sales tax, which is everybody is paying that tax. So, everybody should be heard that way. And if we get a motion to have Chet star in the next video for this, for discussion of pedestrian, I'd appreciate that from somebody. Would you, or you're going to take it on yourself to look into it?
Yes, sir. We are actually actively working with Henrico County for an overall round 4 video featuring our chair. But I'm happy to fill in the blanks if there's a need, if there's a desire for a pedestrian bike specific video, we can certainly make that too.
Very good.
But if you want, we can do a podcast together. Do one with Frank.
What is down for a podcast?
Ms. Davis, you have anything? Commonwealth Board of Transportation is doing well?
We'll be meeting next week.
Oh, okay.
At CTV here in Richmond. So the other thing, I guess, so we did have our transportation alternatives project list. We were able to stretch the dollars think we had 9.3 and we're able to stretch that to about 14 million through some arm twisting and wrangling and negotiating through other
Good.
CTV members. So we were able to stretch our dollars. But Richmond was a beneficiary of 4 projects there, about
Good.
$4 million plus, and pedestrian related safety, actually. Chesterfield with a few of those, Henrico, the Newmarket Heights Trail, phase 3, $2.5 million for that. So some really exciting stuff for this region and certainly the participants in the room today. So really good stuff there. We stretched it.
Thanks for working that out and being flexible. Mayor,
No, you're
you're
good.
good? Okay.
Thanks.
Then the next meeting for the Finance Committee is April 8th at 9 o'clock here in the boardroom. And do I have a motion? To adjourn? The move.
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you, everybody. I think it was a record, that was close.